Are you applying to your very first job, an entry-level job that requires little to no experience or education, or an internship? If so, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. Today I want to share with you 21 questions that you could prepare to answer for any entry-level job, including internships or volunteer experiences that require very little to no experience or education. Before I jump into each of those questions and kind of the why behind the questions, why companies, organizations, or interviewers would ask these questions, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, as well as remember to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can continue to receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. So while this video is going to be applicable to anyone interviewing for a job, if you have never interviewed for a job, you're interviewing for your first job, you're interviewing for a volunteer experience, an internship, or a job that is more entry level that requires very little to no experience or education, you can expect these different types of questions to come up during an interview. Now, my disclaimer is that you likely will not experience all of these questions in a single interview. However, preparing your answers to each of these 21 different questions will be a great way for you to feel prepared and confident for your upcoming interview. The number of questions you can expect during one of these interviews is likely between 5 to 10 questions. If your interview is 30 minutes or less, it is unlikely that you will have time to answer more than 10 questions. If your interview is for more than an hour, then it's likely more of a different type of interview. There may be some technical questions built into this, as well as some of these more open-ended behavior-based questions. If you do have an interview coming up and you would like some more one-on-one customized coaching and help preparing for this interview, please reach out to me today. I do offer one-on-one interview strategy sessions, which will help you prepare for and feel confident for this upcoming interview. At the same time, these videos are just as valuable to help you prepare. So let's jump into it. The very first question that you can likely expect out of any interview is, tell me about yourself, or a variation of this. This question is a nice way to break the ice and kind of set the tone for the interview. It gives the interviewer an overview of how you present yourself, your background, and your personality. Now, I have many different videos on how you can answer this specific question. But the way that you start your interview by answering this question will set the tone for how the rest of the interview goes. Overall, some quick tips is do not do a verbal review of your resume, which you may or may not have based on how much experience or education you have, and do not share a ton of personal information. I recommend using a format of present, past, future, and like I mentioned, I've got several videos on the topic of how you can answer this question. So if you want more detail on that, please go to the description box below and check out the playlist on how you can introduce yourself effectively in an interview. The second question that you could expect to come up in an interview like this is, why are you interested in this position? The interviewers want to know that you have a genuine interest in this role and the type of work that this role entails. It also shows the interviewers that you have researched the position. So why do you want this role? Why do you want this position? Why is this the job that we should hire you for? The third question that could come up is, what do you know about our company? This question helps the interviewers assess your preparation and enthusiasm for this job and this organization. It shows them whether you've taken the initiative or not to learn about the company and its culture. The next two questions that you could expect would be, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? When it comes to asking you about your strengths, interviewers are looking to see if your strengths align with the requirements of this job. They want to see how you will positively contribute to the job itself, the team, and the organization as a whole. When it comes to weaknesses, your answer to this question will test your self-awareness and your honesty. Everyone has weaknesses. And so by answering this question in an honest, genuine way, it shows that you have self-awareness and that you are aware of your weaknesses and you're actively working to improve them. Now again, as I mentioned with the Tell Me About Yourself video, I've got several videos on the topic of strengths and weaknesses. I've linked to them in the description box below. The sixth question that you could expect during an interview like this is, describe a time when you worked as a part of a team. Many jobs require teamwork and collaboration. Even if the role is relatively individualized, it's likely you will need to work with other people. So they want to know how you've done that in the past. They want to see if you can effectively collaborate with other people and contribute to a team environment. Now, if you've never had a job before, you've likely worked on a group project. Think about your experience working on a team or in a group. The seventh question that you could expect during an interview like this is, how do you handle stress or pressure? This type of question assesses your ability to stay calm and productive in challenging situations or scenarios. Being able to stay calm in the face of stress or pressure is important in almost any job. My eighth example of a question that you could expect during an interview like this is, why should we hire you? This is your opportunity to sell yourself and show what truly makes you different and unique from the rest of the people who are applying for the same job. This is really your opportunity to share with them why you think you are the best fit for this role. My ninth question that you could prepare to answer for an interview like this is, tell me about a time when you had to learn something new quickly. Employers want to know if you can learn and adapt on the job, especially if you don't have previous experience or education. So sharing an example of a time that you had to learn something new quickly is a great way to demonstrate how you can adapt on the job. The 10th question that could come up during a job interview like this is, what are your long-term career goals? This shows your long-term ambition and aspirations. The interviewer may or may not assess to see if those ambitions and aspirations also align with the company's available career paths. Sometimes it doesn't matter if those aspirations and ambitions align with the career paths offered by the organization. They just want to know that you see a future for yourself. Example 11 of a question that could come up during an interview like this is, describe a time when you faced a challenge and how you overcame it. This question assesses your problem-solving skills, your resilience, and how you handle difficult situations. The next question that could come up is, how do you prioritize tasks? Your answer to this question reveals your organizational skills and even your time management skills. Being able to organize yourself and your work and manage your time effectively is relevant to any role. The next question that could come up during an interview like this is, what motivates you? Interviewers want to understand what motivates and drives you. They want to know if your motivations and drivers align with the company and the company culture. Another question that could come up is, how do you handle constructive criticism? Your answer to this question will demonstrate your openness to feedback. It also will demonstrate your willingness to internalize that feedback and potentially use that feedback to improve yourself. Improving yourself based on feedback is vital for any role and career. Another question that could come up during this interview could be, give an example of a time when you provided excellent customer service. If this role requires any customer interaction, which the majority of roles do, your answer to this question will help the interviewer assess your customer service skills and how you handle customer needs, and if that aligns with how they, at this organization, expect you in this role to interact with customers. The next question that you could expect would be, how do you manage your time effectively? As I mentioned earlier, time management is crucial in the workplace. Interviewers want to see if you have strategies in place to help manage your workload effectively. Another question that could come up during an interview would be, describe a situation where you had to work under a tight deadline. Your answer to this question tests your ability to work well under pressure and under deadlines. Working under pressure and meeting deadlines is often necessary in many jobs. The 18th example that I have for you is, tell me about a time when you had to take initiative. Your answer to this question will reveal your ability to be proactive, as well as your ability to go beyond your basic responsibilities to achieve something beneficial to you, the role, your team, the organization, the customer, etc. 3 more questions remain. The 19th example is, what do you do when you don't know how to complete a task? I've actually asked this exact question in an interview before. Employers or interviewers want to see your problem-solving skills. They also want to see if you will be resourceful to seek out options and assistance and support when needed. Employers are not expecting you to do everything by yourself or to know all of the answers, especially in a role that is either entry-level or requires 0 to little experience or education. You are not expected to know everything, so being able to use your resources is extremely critical. My 20th question example is, how do you stay organized? Organization is key to effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity. So interviewers want to know if you have methods in place to stay organized and manage your time and your workload effectively. And then the very final question that you can most always anticipate as a part of the interview process is, do you have any questions for me? Now, I have many videos on this topic. Number one piece of advice, do not say no. Take some time while you're preparing for this interview to jot down a minimum of 3 questions that you would like to ask the interviewer at the end of your interview. If you want some ideas on the types of questions that you could ask, I've linked to a playlist with all of my videos on this topic in the description box below, and I've linked to a card up above. With these 21 questions, you can prepare your answers to these very common open-ended questions and feel prepared and confident for your upcoming interview. If you would like some more customized one-on-one coaching and help preparing for this upcoming interview, please contact me today. I have very limited availability, but I do have spots available each week to help people prepare for their interview. If this is something you're interested in, I've linked to my email as well as my website in the description box below. If you go to my website, you can book a session with me directly, or if you want to just schedule something with me manually or just ask me a question, feel free to send me an email today. My spots fill up quickly, and like I said, I have very limited availability, so you've got to reach out to me as soon as you know you have an interview coming up. If you found this video helpful and you are looking forward to using this video to help you prepare for your upcoming interviews, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any additional questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas on these types of questions, how to prepare for your interview, etc., please throw them in the comments box below. I love receiving comments. I will do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. And just know that if I'm not able to get back to you very quickly, your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, the experiences that you share in the comments box below will likely help someone else who will be preparing for something similar in the future. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you can continue to receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.